Hi, my name is Nick Longacre. This is a presentation for the University of Fairfax Masters in Business 6750, Coordinating and Managing Supply Chains Intermodal Transport Model in Asia Pacific. So a few notes I want to get out of the way first are this may go over 5 minutes. I'm not really sure. It is only one slide, but there's a lot to discuss. So if I do break 5 to 7 minutes, forgive me. This is also my first run at presenting it. Just I'm kind of out of time, and I think that I'll be able to talk through it just fine. It's also my first time recording myself on PowerPoint, so I am getting a little bit used to the tools at my disposal. If there's a break in the presentation, please forgive me. So with that out of the way, let's get started. All right, so here you'll see a map of Asia Pacific that includes Alaska. And for this extra credit project, I wanted to focus on intermodal transportation as it applies to what we've learned from Cole's textbook in the class this semester. And to do this extra credit assignment, I looked back on my experience. So I didn't create a new problem set for myself. I was kind of thrown into this as a military person, and we had this deployment through the Pacific, which always sat with me as a huge learning opportunity. I lost a lot of sleep, and but I learned a lot too. I went to college for international studies, not logistics. I was an infantry officer. I was not a logistics officer. So this was a big learning curve for me. So I'm going to walk you through this slide here. It's a little bit complicated looking, but it's not actually that complicated. So using my laser pointer here, we're going to start here. Vehicles shipped from Anchorage to Australia. Now, let's say our vehicles, we're going to ship, let's call it automobiles across Asia Pacific. So we're Ford. We have a plant in Alaska, and we want to get our stuff in the Asian market if they'll let us sell there after all this global trade war stuff goes on. So we have a plant in Fairbanks, Alaska, and we need to get our automobiles to Australia, Thailand, and Japan, where we think there's a large electric vehicle market. And as Ford, we just opened up a new moped uh, line of effort. So from Fairbanks, we're going to put every automobile on a rail carrier, and get it to Anchorage, where we can put it on a boat and get it across the ocean. So from Anchorage, we're going to follow this black line here down to Australia. So our plan is we are going to get everything to Australia. We're going to dump off the Australian goods. That boat, that one water carrier is then going to go to other countries in the Pacific. So we get to Australia, and we realize that while we're while the automobiles are on transport on the water carrier, one of them had an oil leak, and now this product is not able to be sold. So that's one of the issues and concerns that I want to raise with you. And I'm not sure if I can move my little face out of the lower right hand corner, but you'll see here repair parts in transit. So while our automobile, our new Ford F-150 Lightning, was transversing across the transporting across the Pacific Ocean, it had a not an oil leak because it's an electric car, but one of the batteries went bad. So what do? Our repair parts are going to be shipped from our battery supplier out of Mexico or the United States to Hawaii, where based on where we need this repair part, it's either going to go to Australia or the other countries we're transiting to. So this is going to be our processing facility and our kind of intermediate distribution center where we can get repair parts in for these vehicles, and as the vehicles go across the Pacific based on where they are at that time in transport, we'll get it out of Hawaii into destination. So this requires a lot of timing and a lot of, hey, when is this boat going to arrive at Australia? We found out about the battery thing when it was going past the Philippines. Is it ready to leave Hawaii? Do we have someone there ready to process that order? When do we need to process it? What's the time in transit between Hawaii and Australia? When's the boat gonna get past the Philippines into Australia? There's a lot of things to consider here, which are part of those issues and concerns. From Australia, let's continue to Thailand. All right, so going from Australia to Thailand, we had to cross multiple bodies of water owned by different countries, and we needed to not clear customs, but kind of coordinate our logistics people handling that for us. The boat captains, they handled that for us as we stepped through all those gates to get to Thailand. In Thailand, we want to sell mopeds, and so we start offloading our mopeds, and we realize we have some flat tires on the mopeds. So again, we didn't anticipate this, and the boat has to leave Thailand in 2 days to make it on time to Japan. However, now we have to get tires to Thailand. So we make the decision, go ahead and send the boat, send the people sitting with the automobiles to Japan, and we'll go ahead and we'll leave someone in Thailand to make sure that those tires get to the moped so they can be repaired and sold in Thailand. As forward, we don't want our brand diminished. All right, so from Thailand, we're gonna go to Japan where we're gonna sell some more mopeds and electric vehicles. Um, what's tricky about this is now we have to start thinking about any products that we didn't offload, any people, any other things. Maybe we have, let's say we have a couple Ford employees that went on the boat to make sure everything went okay. We got to get them back home. So this boat is going to come back to Alaska. So in a way, um, even though Alaska was our point of origin, it becomes a point of destination once again. So we're going to leave Japan and go back to Anchorage and then get these folks home to Fairbanks. You'll see on the left side of the slide here, we go through multiple forms of vessel transport. So Alaska to Australia is our black line, Australia to Thailand, orange, Thailand to Japan, green, Japan to Alaska, blue. Rail transport, don't forget we had to get those vehicles from the plant in Fairbanks down to the port. That was our initial logistical challenge. Fairbanks to Anchorage, and then any vehicles that don't get offloaded on in any of these countries, they get railed back up to the plant. Motor carriers. So obviously we're not selling our vehicles at the ports where they're offloaded. So we're going to use freight carriers and local highway transportation employees and contractors to get those vehicles from the port to where we're going to sell them, the lots we're going to sell them at. Unfortunately, for example, in Thailand, they don't have the same regulations that say the United States or England or even India would have. So we're going to have someone on ground there to make sure that anything getting being coordinated with these third-party freight carriers goes according to the regulations that we Ford as a company have set forth to protect our quality and our product. Lastly, here we have air carrier. So air carrier we're going to reserve because it's pretty costly, but it is efficient and quick. So we're going to reserve air carrier from Anchorage to get short notice, quick decision parts, mostly repair parts to these vehicles that do break down en route. Um, examples would be, you know, hey, this item just landed in Australia and this vehicle just landed in Australia and it's got a bad battery. It's going to hold up the entire freight highway operation if we don't get a battery to it, or we're going to have a vehicle left in port. We don't want a vehicle left in port. It's going to mess everything up. We're going to have to go back and get it. So hey, let's air carrier a battery down to Sydney, put the battery in there before we get all these vehicles offloaded to the freight carrier. So we're going to leave air carrier for distinctive items and also items that we want a little bit more security for. So there's a lot of gates to pass through from rail to port to rail to highway, etc. There's a lot of gates, there's a lot of people involved, and anything that's kind of high value, maybe the computer screens in the F-150 Lightning, those can be easily stolen. We're just going to air carrier those with someone so it's there in a day and it's highly secure and we don't have to worry about it sitting anywhere for more than 30, 60, 90 days. So I don't know if I can go through all of my issues, concerns, because I don't know if I can move my little face here in the bottom right. But customs clearance, repair parts, security of the items, Those are all major issues and concerns. And any company trying to distribute items into the Asian Pacific market is going to need to go through these things. Specifically, I think the biggest challenge for them is going to be this Hawaiian distribution center. They're going to have a base of operations here because it is just so crucial to be able to have some kind of arm's reach to the end point of destination. And I think that's the best way to do it. It's very strategic island for the United States in that regard in terms of control over the Asia Pacific region, whether it's economic or otherwise. And so, pending any questions to my lovely audience here, I appreciate your time. Looks like we went to about 10 minutes, and yeah, thank you.